You didn't stumble onto this video. Deep down, you know that. Something pulled you here. A quiet feeling in your chest you've been carrying for days, maybe weeks, maybe longer than you'd ever admit to anyone. There's a question living inside you, one you've never spoken out loud. Not to your closest friend, not to your family. Not even in prayer, because some part of you was afraid that saying it would make it too real. That putting words to it would crack something open you weren't sure you could close again. But here's what I need you to understand before we go any further. God heard it anyway. Every version of it. The half-formed thought at 3 a.m. when you couldn't sleep. The whisper behind your eyes when you smiled at someone and pretended everything was fine. The ache you swallowed down with your coffee and carried into your day like it weighed nothing, even though it weighed everything. God saw all of it. You thought you were hiding it. You thought if you didn't say it clearly enough, if you kept it vague even inside your own mind, then maybe it wouldn't count. Maybe it wouldn't reach wherever prayers go. That's not how this works. God doesn't need your words to be polished or your sentences to be complete. God reads the draft you deleted, the one you typed into your notes app at midnight and erased before the screen went dark. And the question you've been carrying, it's not what you think it is. On the surface, it might sound like, will things get better? Or, does anyone actually see me? But underneath all of that, underneath every version you've rehearsed and reworded and buried, there's really only one thing you've been asking. Am I going to be okay? That's it. That's the real one. And you've been terrified to ask it because you're scared the answer might be no. You're scared that if you put it out there, if you make it official, the universe might confirm your worst fear. That the struggle is permanent. That the version of your life you keep imagining, where you're breathing easier and laughing louder and actually sleeping through the night, that version might not exist for you. I'm here to tell you it does. I'm not saying that to make you feel good. This isn't hollow motivation designed to get your hopes up and leave you empty again by tomorrow. I'm saying it because the fact that you can imagine it means it was planted in you for a reason. That longing you feel for something more, something that actually fits. It's not your brain torturing you. It's the blueprint. Something is already being built for you in a place you can't see yet. Think about what you've already survived. Go ahead, actually think about it for a second. There were moments in your past where you were certain, absolutely certain, that you wouldn't make it through. The pain was too heavy. The situation was too far gone. You thought you had used up whatever grace was available to you. And yet here you are, breathing, listening, still searching, still open enough to let a message like this reach you. That's not luck. That's evidence. You have been carried through things you thought would end you, and you didn't even notice the hands holding you up because you were too focused on the storm. God has been answering you this whole time, just not in the language you were expecting. You were waiting for a sign written in the sky, something unmistakable, a voice, a vision so dramatic that all your doubt would evaporate in an instant. But that's rarely how it works. The answers came quieter. They came in the friend who called you on the exact day you needed to hear someone say your name. In the door that closed and devastated you, the one you can now see was protecting you from something you weren't ready for. In that strange feeling you got last week that told you to wait. Not yet. Hold on just a little longer. You dismissed all of those. Called them coincidences. Told yourself you were reading too much into things. But what if you weren't? What if every single one of those moments was a direct response to the question you were too afraid to ask? Here's something most people never consider. Sometimes silence is the answer, not empty silence. The kind of silence a parent holds when their child is learning to walk. They don't rush in at the first wobble. They don't grab you the second you look unsteady. They stand close, hands ready, eyes locked on you, completely present, but they let you find your balance because they know something you don't. They know you can do this. The silence you've been reading as absence, that's trust. God trusts you with this chapter, even the ugly parts. I know that's hard to hear when you're in the middle of it, when every day feels like you're pushing a boulder uphill and nobody sees the effort, when you're giving everything you have and the results don't match the sacrifice, when the people around you seem to get things handed to them while you're out here earning every inch with sweat and sleepless nights. I know how that feels. That comparison trap will eat you alive if you let it. But what you're seeing of other people's lives isn't the full picture. It never is. You're comparing your worst days to their best moments, and that math will never balance. Your timeline is yours. Your path was built for you, with your exact breaking points and rebuilding points mapped out in ways you can't comprehend from where you're standing. If this message reached you at a moment when you needed it, type, "I'm heard" in the comments. Not for me, for you. Because sometimes claiming something out loud, even in a comment section, is the first step toward believing it. Now let me tell you what's actually happening in your life right now, because I think you've been misreading it. You think you're falling behind. You think the delay means denial. But what if the delay is the preparation? What if the reason it hasn't shown up yet is because you're not quite ready to hold it? What's coming is bigger than what you asked for. You need to be stretched first. Think about a seed. Nobody panics when a seed doesn't become a tree overnight. Nobody digs it up after a week and says it must be dead because nothing's visible yet. The work is happening underground, in the dark, in the dirt, where nobody can see or applaud it. That's where roots form, and roots are what keep you standing when the storm comes. Without this season, without this waiting, you wouldn't be able to hold the weight of what's on its way. You've been asking God if you're going to be okay. And the answer isn't just yes. Okay isn't even close to what's planned for you. Okay is the bare minimum. Okay is surviving. What's being arranged for you goes so far beyond that. If I described it right now, you probably wouldn't believe me. And honestly, that's fine. You don't have to believe it yet. You just have to stay. Stay in the game. Stay soft enough to receive it, even though everything in your life has tried to make you hard. That softness you've been protecting, that part of you that still hopes even after everything, that is your superpower. The cynics, the ones who've sealed themselves off completely, they can't hear it anymore. But you can. You still can. And that matters more than you know. I want to tell you something about the timing of this moment. You're watching this video at a very specific point in your life. You are at the edge of something, a shift that hasn't fully announced itself yet, but is already in motion. You can feel it in the restlessness, in the way things that used to satisfy you just don't anymore, in the way you keep outgrowing rooms and relationships faster than you can process. That's not chaos. That's what it feels like right before everything changes. The question you were too afraid to ask has already been answered. Not someday, right now, in this breath. The answer has been yes all along. You're going to be okay. It's going to work out. You are seen completely and specifically as the exact person you are with the exact struggles you carry. God didn't just hear your question. God felt it. The way a parent feels their child's fever through their forehead. The way you know someone you love is hurting before they say a word. That's how your unspoken question was received. And the response isn't coming someday. It's unfolding right now in ways you'll only recognize when you look back 6 months from now and connect the dots that today look like scattered chaos. So here's what I want you to do. Tonight, before you close your eyes, ask the question out loud. The real one. The raw, honest, terrifying one. Say it into the dark of your room where nobody can hear you, and then let it go. It's already been received. You're releasing it so your hands are finally open to receive what's being offered. You've been gripping this question so tightly, there's no room left for the answer. Open your hands, open your chest, let the doubt fall away, not all at once. That's not how it works. But enough. Just enough for today. Tomorrow you can let a little more go, and the day after that, a little more. Until one morning you wake up and realize the weight is gone, and you can't even remember the exact moment it lifted. That's how healing works. Not in explosions, in shifts so small you don't notice until they've already changed everything. You were never too small for God to notice, and never too broken to be chosen. The question you buried under all that fear and self-protection, it was received with more tenderness than you can imagine. This is your confirmation. A message that found you because it was always going to find you at this exact moment, in this exact season of your life. If this reached you when you needed it most, leave a like so it finds the next person sitting alone with a question they're too afraid to say out loud. And subscribe to this channel, because this isn't the last message meant for you. There's more coming, and you're going to want to hear it.